All praise always to the most mighty, the most merciful. Ahaya Shohaya Bahashim Mashiach Yeshai. Shach Shema. We are the hope, we are the set apart, sanctified seed of Jeshurun, right? Set apart offspring of the Most High's chosen peculiar people in the earth, seeking, hoping, and praying to keep the law, statutes, and commandments of faith in the Mashiach Yeshai, and walk in the fruits of the Kodash Shuwab power, right? Pray y'all having a blessed Sabbath. Y'all got the Most High Spirit dwelling in your soul, down in your temple. For your temple swept and garnished. Are you seeking Him for spiritual gifts, revelation, understanding these last days, and you're fearing Him, walking with a circumspect heart, loving Him with all your heart, mind, and strength, right? It's like y'all for now coming before y'all for, a little over a week and a half. Just adapting to some things out here. The weather's heating up out here. We're in the 13th week, right, of the first new moon. Next week will be in the new moon for the second season of the year. And so, a couple things, have been going on, but everything is blessed. Everything is Kodash. I know I was talking to y'all about doing a rapture lesson on that, but it was actually another lesson I was supposed to do before that, which is Revelation 12. So I'm going to be going over that now, right? To be will of the Most High. So we're going to jump into that now without further ado, right? So let's go ahead and get down. This is Revelation chapter 12 and verse 1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven. This means it's a sign. A woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. What is this a representation of? What is this a sign of, right? We probably went over this before. We're just getting it, right? This is Genesis 37, with Joseph telling a dream to his brethren, right? This is Genesis 37 and 9. And he dreamed yet another dream, and told it to his brethren, and said, Behold, I have dreamed a dream more. And behold, Flakia, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance to me. So, let me read verse 10. And he told it to his father and to his brethren. And his father rebuked him and said unto him, listen to what his dad says. What is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I, being the sun, and thy mother, being the moon, and thy brethren, indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee, to the earth? You see that? So he said the sun, the moon, and the 11 stars made obeisance to me. Bow down, worship, showing reverence, right? So Jacob immediately interpreted and said, oh, you talking about me? Talking about your mother? You talking about your 11 brothers, right? And so this is the sign, that is being shown in Revelation 11. It's talking about Yasharah. Let's get one more to show Yasharah is a woman scripturally referenced again, right? This is Isaiah 54. Oh, it's lucky, y'all. Isaiah 54. I'll start at 5 right quick. For thy maker is thine husband, right? The Most High of Hosts is his name, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. The power of the whole earth shall he be called. Verse 6. For the Most High had called thee a woman forsaken, because we are married unto the Most High, what? Through the law, statutes, and commandments, the covenant, right? And grieved in spirit, and a wife of youth, when thou was refused, saith thy power, right? So, this in Revelation 12 and 1, starting off showing you that this is talking about Israel, right? It's a prophecy regarding Israel. Verse 2. And she, Israel, being with child, travailing in birth and pain to be delivered. She's pregnant, right? Verse 3. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, another sign in heaven. And behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, 7 crowns up on his heads. Now, if y'all understand, this is the same beast that's being talked about in Revelation 17, and this is the same beast that's being talked about in the book of Daniel. So, as we read here, it says, and there's another wonder in heaven, behold, a great red dragon. Now, off the top, we got to identify, who is red in the scripture, right? Because y'all know the 4 beasts are what? You know what? Let's get that first. And this is the fourth beast. So we're going to read what the four beasts are, and then we'll get the color to show and support, what that beast is, who that beast is represented by, what people in earth, right? This is Daniel 7, and let's start at verse 1. In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions of his head upon his bed when he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matters. Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of heaven strove upon the sea, upon the great sea. Verse 3, and four great beasts came up from the sea, divers one from another. Four different beasts. The first was like a lion and had eagle's wings. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given unto it. This is the Assyrian Babylonian captivity, right? Verse 5, and behold, another beast, a second like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and it had three ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it, and they said thus unto it, Arise, devour much flesh. This is the Babylonian Persian captivity of Israel, right? The three ribs represent Cyrus, Artaxerxes, and King Darius. These three kings of what? Persia. Verse 6, after this I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, which had upon the back of it four wings of a fowl. The beast had also four heads, and dominion was given unto it. This is the Grecian captivity. Alexander the Great was known to wear leopard skin, on his leopard skin on his back, and the four wings of a fowl. These are the four generals of his youth that he parted his kingdom when he got sick before he died. Right? Verse 7. After this, I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it, and it was diver from all the beasts that were before it, meaning it had a different type of captivity that it took the children of Israel in, right? And it had 10 horns. You see that? So it's telling you it had 10 horns. So this is the beast that we just read in Revelation 12 and 8. Verse 8 says, I consider the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn. This is America, before whom there were three of the first horns plucked up by the roots. That's Spain, France, and Great Britain. And behold, in this horn were the eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things. So let's get over to the verse to show you that these are kingdoms, right? Let's see. This is Daniel 7 and 17. These great beasts, which are four, we just read them, are four kings, which shall rise out of the earth. Every king has a what? A kingdom, right? Jump down to verse 23. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces. This is the verse 24 too. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall rise after them, and he shall be diver from the first, and he shall subdue three kings. So that the other king, it says the 10 horns that shall rise, and another shall rise after them, and he shall be diver from the first, and he shall subdue three kings. That's America. Subduing three kings is what? Spain, France, and Great Britain, right? The 10 horns, see if I can remember. I don't have my notes with me. Spain, France, Great Britain, Switzerland, Luxembourg, Denmark, Belgium, Netherlands, Germany, and I'm missing one. I had to get it. If you watch the video of Revelation 17, then it'll be all of them on there. All right. And so This is telling you what the beast is. Now, if you know, this is the same beast that got us under captivity right now. The same beast, the Roman Empire. Because there's no more beasts after this, which means our captivities are over after this last captivity now. So, um, let's get read now to show, you know, scripturally, how these people are likened as red, right? This is Genesis chapter 25 and verse 24. Talking about Isaac and Rebekah. Slock it, y'all. And when her days, this is Genesis 25 and 24. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb, Jacob and Esau, right? And the first came out red, right? All over like an hairy garment. And they called his name Esau. So when we go on over here in Revelation, and we're seeing, let's read it now. Some revelation, some understanding, right? Revelation 12 and 3. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head. So this is describing the dragon as that beast, right? And it's a red dragon, and it has 7 heads and 10 horns, just like we just read in Daniel, right? Now let's just to break that down. So it's saying it's a red dragon because the people that came into the earth, as we just read, Esau came out red. This representing them. They are those that founded the Roman Empire. This is the Roman Empire, and we get this understanding of having 7 heads. 7 heads represent the 7 hills that Rome was founded upon, right? By a man named Aeneas, right? He was a Greek that fled. This is secular history that fled Troy during a war, between 2 kings over a woman that got stolen, right? And you see this in the movie Troy. If you watch the movie Troy, you'll see it at the very end. Aeneas is given a sword of Troy and told to continue their culture and flee to the west. And he establishes 10 generations down from his bloodline, establishes Rome, right? And so 7 heads and 10 horns, which is the 10 kings I just spoke, or I spoke 9, and 7 crowns up on his heads, because they're all rulers. All these kings are going to be rulers in the earth. And the power, this is all broken down in Revelation 17 video. The power structure is allocated through other nations and their realms. Rome is the power behind the beast, but the face of their rulership is under those 10 kings, those 9 kings that I named you. So Rome is running the earth right now, but it doesn't look like it, because all their power is allocated, and it's like a monarchies all over Europe of the face of their power that are ruling the earth. And now America, which came out of those 10 horns, namely those 3, they're getting all the fame, the power, the authority, when they're all supposed to be working in conjunction with each other. But America done rose up as an iron beast with iron teeth. Iron represents strength, and just breaking in pieces the whole world and running around doing whatever they want to do, and getting the glory and the fame and the authority that the 10 horns, namely the Western EU, supposed to be getting, right? So in this sense, understand, mind you, going back to verse 2, Revelation 12 and 2, and she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. So this is Rome coming at the woman Israel, right? Verse 3, and there appeared another great wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head. So this is their empire, getting at, Israel. Verse 4, and his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, right? And did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. So when you understand, when Hamashiach was born, we're under Roman captivity, right? Caesar, I believe, was the I think Caesar Augustus. I mean Herod. Herod was the one that was I think he was the governor or the king of Israel, and he got the judgment. I mean, got the prophecy from the three wise men that a savior, quote unquote savior, was being born, and so he had put out the decree to devour the child before it was born. Let's just read that little right quick, just so we can show what's going on. I'm up here telling y'all the story like I don't have the Bible right here. So we go right quick to Matthew, and this is why the angel tells, you know, Matthew to get on out of there. All right? I'm going to tell Joseph to get on out of there. Go down to Egypt. So this is Matthew. Matter of fact, let's jump down. Let's see. Let's go. Matthew chapter 2, verse 1. Now when Yeshua was born in Bethlehem of Judah in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem, saying, Where is he that is born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east, and are come to worship him. When Herod the king had heard these things, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. And when he had gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people together, he demanded of them where Hamashiach should be born. And they said unto him, In Bethlehem of Judah, because this is the prophecy in Micah chapter 5. This is in Bethlehem, Judah, of Ephratah, right? But thus it was written by the prophets, verse 6, And thou, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, art not thou the least among the princes of Judah, for out of thee shall come a governor that shall rule my people Israel. And so basically, he put out a decree to kill all the kids that were what? I think 3 and under. Let's see. Okay, it said, so he basically told the 3 wise men, go find him and let me know so I can come worship him. But he really was going to kill him. So the Most High let the 3 wise men find him, but they gave him gifts, gold, frankincense, myrrh, and then got on. Didn't even go back to Herod. So Herod felt mocked. He felt like he got, gamed, right? Shalom, shalom, soldier. And so this is what happened. Let's get down verse 13. This is Matthew 2 and 13. And when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Most High appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise and take the young child and his mother and flee into Egypt, and be thou there until I bring thee word. For Herod will seek the young child to destroy him. When he arose, he took the young child and his mother by night and departed into Egypt, and was there until the death of Herod, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken of the Most High by the prophet, saying, Out of Egypt have I called my son. That's in Hosea 11 and 1, right? Verse 16. Then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise men, because they didn't go back and tell him, was exceedingly wroth, and sent forth and slew all the children that were in Bethlehem and in all the coasts thereof, from 2 years old and under, according to the time which he had diligently inquired of the wise men. So he went and killed a whole bunch of kids, thinking he got to make sure I'm going to get these boys, right? Then was fulfilled that which was spoken by Jeremy, the prophet, saying, In Ramah was there a voice heard, lamentation and weeping and great mourning, Rachel weeping for her children, and would not be comforted, because they are not. But when Herod was dead, behold, an angel of the Most High appeared in a dream to Joseph in Egypt, saying, Arise and take the young child and his mother, and go into the land of Israel, for they are dead, which sought the young child's life. So let's just explain to you. The Romans, right, which are this 4th beast, was trying to kill the man-child that was coming from Israel, which was Yeshai, right? Verse 5, And she brought forth a man-child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto Ahiah and to his throne. So when he came down, did the job that he came to do, was a blood atonement for the sins of Yasharallah, dead 3 days in the belly of the earth, and rose and ascended up to the Most High. Bam! He's gone off the earth. Now, let's get that also in Lamentation, right? To show that is exactly what was going on. All right, this is Lamentations chapter 2 and verse 1. Now, how had the Most High covered the daughter of Zion with a cloud in his anger, and cast down from heaven unto the earth the beauty of Israel, and remembered not his footstool in the day of his anger. Right? Same verbiage. Let's go back here. Same verbiage, right? So you're seeing what's getting cast down, right? This is Revelation 12, verse 4. And the point is, understand, this is not the literal heaven, right? Shalom, shalom, bro. This is saying that the uh the way of life for Israel, they were in there was it was like as a heavenly state, right? And when they got conquered and the Romans was reigning over them, they're casting down their freedom, their dominion, their sovereignty down to the earth. So I'm gonna read it to you. Revelation 12 and 4. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth, and the dragon forward to devour her child as soon as it was born. So that was what Herod was trying to do. As soon as Mashiach was born, trying to kill him. So going back to Lamentation 2 and 1. Now how? Stool in the day of his anger, and the Most High swallowed up all the habitations of Jacob, and have not pitied, for he had thrown down in his wrath the strongholds of the daughter of Judah. He had brought them down to the ground. He had polluted the kingdom and the princes thereof. Showing you that this is the destruction that was the Romans was doing at this time, in conjunction and similarity to how the Babylonians had cast us down in the time of Jeremiah, right? So moving forward, let's see, verse 6. I'll read 5 again. Revelation 12 and 5. And she brought forth a man child to Jeshai, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto Ahiah and to his throne. We can get just a little bit of that prophecy. Mashiach said he got to fulfill all things written of him in the law and the prophets and the Psalms, right? So let's get this prophecy we just read in the Psalms, that he will rule all nations with a rod of iron. This is Psalms chapter 2 and verse 6. Yet have I set my king upon my Kodash hill of Zion. Verse 7. I will declare the decree. The Most High have said unto me, Thou art my son, this day have I begotten thee. Verse 8. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. See, so this is another prophecy in regards to Mashiach. Be wise now, therefore, O ye kings, be instructed, ye judges of the earth. Serve the Most High with fear and rejoice with trembling. So, going back, we know this is shy 100%. Now, going back to Revelation 12 and 6. And the woman fled into the wilderness. So this is Israel after the death of the Mashiach Yeshai. After he died, in 70, I want to say 73 AD is when this ended, right? Some people like to say it was in 70 AD. From my studies, it's 73 AD. I'm saying from 66 AD to 73 AD, which is a 7-year span. That also resembles the last 7 years that of Jacob's trouble and the great tribulation on this earth. The Romans warred against, our forefathers 7 years, right? From 66 AD to 73 AD. And 1 million of our people fled into the wilderness. Now, I know this part might be a little shaky, right? Into the wilderness, where she had a place prepared of the Most High, that they should feed her there 1,203 days, which comes out to 3.5 years, right? Now, on this page, that's like the third video, because this is not the same place. Have to tell you that. This is not the same place. Chapter 9 and verse 29. O Ahiah, thou that showest thyself unto us, thou wast showed unto our fathers in the wilderness, in a place where no man treadeth, in a barren land. That's what a wilderness is, a place where no man treadeth, in a barren land. When they came out of it, that's the wilderness. You understand? And so this is this wilderness right here is Kodesh Barnea. Let's get one more. Judith. All right. Judith 5 and 14. I start at 13. And Ahiah dried the Red Sea before them, verse 14, and brought them to Mount Sinai and Kadesh Barnea, and cast forth all that dwelt in the wilderness. You understand? So, just telling you what the wilderness is, the place where he came out of Egypt. Now, historically, it does not show that our forefathers went into this same region, which is where we at now, right? When they left in 70, between 66 and 73 AD. You know, over 1 million of us fleeing down into what? Africa. It said, matter of fact, they took heed to the prophecy of what? Hamashiach. What did Hamashiach tell them to do? Right? This is Luke 21 and verse 21. Start at verse 20. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter therein. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. Because we are what? Prophesied to get scattered into all nations for breaking the law, statutes, and commandments in the covenant. So this is one of the warnings that Hamashiach gave. Now, some of our forefathers left. A lot of them died there, but some of them left. And when they left, historically, it shows they went down into Africa, on Timbuktu region, and south of that into an area which is known historically, ancient times, as Negro land, right? A lot of us went, stayed in the northern part of West Africa and was part of the Moors, being Berbers, right? Crossing over the Strait of Gibraltar, coming up into Spain and Portugal, and, conquering under the Byzantine Empire. You understand? And so when we read about this wilderness right here, this is a region, and you see the time frame. It says, verse 6, 1,203 days. I'm going to break that down right now. Reading from the top, Revelation 12 and 6. And the woman fled into the wilderness, a barren land where no man treaded, where she had a place prepared of the Most High, that they should feed her there 1,203 days. Now, that's 1,260 days. So one score is 20, three score is 60. So 1,260 days. Now, let's break down real quick how to work it down. Ezekiel 4. Ezekiel 4. Let's see. 4 and 4. Lie thou also upon thy left side, and lay the iniquity of the house of Israel upon it, according to the number of the days that thou shalt lie upon it, thou shalt bear their iniquity. So he's giving Ezekiel a prophecy to lay on his side for the number of days of the sin of what? Israel. Verse 5. For I have laid upon thee the years of their iniquity according to the number of the days. You see that? The years of iniquity according to the numbers of the days. So you can know in scripture, when you see some prophecies, there's a twofold. When it says days, there's also a revelation to understand that it's talking about years. So reading verse 5 again. For I have laid upon thee the years of their iniquity according to the number of the days, 390 days, so shalt thou bear the iniquity of the house of Israel. Verse 6. And when thou hast accomplished them, lie again on thy right side, and thou shalt bear the iniquity of the house of Judah 40 days. I have appointed thee each day for a year. You see that? Let's get it one more time in Numbers, showing that scripturally, when it says a day, it can be meaning a year. This is Numbers 14 and 34. After the number of the days in which ye searched the land, when Moses sent out the 12 spies to search out the land, how many days he sent them out? 40 days. What did it say? Even 40 days, each day for a year, shall ye bear your iniquities, even 40 years, and ye shall know my breach of promise. You see that? So, with that same precepts we just read too, we come back over there, Revelation 12 and 6, and the woman fled into the wilderness, where she had a place prepared of the Most High, that she should feed her there 1,203 days. 1,260 days. This is the breakdown. So you got this is really saying 1,000 after 70 AD, 73 AD, 1,260 years Israel will be dwelling in this wilderness region, which I brought out is in Western Africa. You can look up these sources in Babylon Timbuktu, and of course they got this stuff in the Jewish encyclopedia, but that stuff kind of hard to get your hands on. But you got 1,260 years. Now, when you add those 73 years, right, leading up to that, to 1,260, you get 1,333 years. Now, what happens at 1,333 years? What's starting to happen around there? Matter of fact, in 1,300 and I think 20, the first Roman Catholic missionaries start going out, right? So for, like I said, 1,330 some years, we had no problems. We were nourished there. The Most High prepared that place for us. It was called Negro Land, and we dwelt there, reigned there. Had inventors, had all type of craftsmen, all type of mathematicians. Everything was flourishing there, to where the Hamites were even fearful and threatened by us, because we came in and prospered there. And this is spoken of, like I said, Babylon, Timbuktu, all those coastal cities: Ivory Coast, Gold Coast, Slave Coast, Sierra Leone, Angola, Congo, Tanzania, Nigeria. All those, we had all that stuff. Also, some of our forefathers were part of the Byzantine Empire, reigning over Europe in the Dark Ages. This is how King James got up there. This is why the couple verses of Acts 29 are taken out, because Acts chapter 29 is taken out of the Bible. There's an Acts chapter 29, y'all. You got to go online and read it. It shows that Paul's ministry went all the way up to Britain. Why would they not want you to know that Paul's ministry went all the way up to Britain? Because that would tell you that it was Israelites there. And they don't want you to know that the modern time and the modern outlook of what Britain is today, they don't want you to be confused that, yes, we was running all the Europe all the way up to Britain, right? They got roads. Even Margaret Thatcher, this real racist, Edomite lady, she testifies of it, and she says the roads from Rome, they are still paved today all the way up to Britain. She said this in the early 1900s. All right, she was the founder of Planned Parenthood, man. I mean, Margaret Sanger, not Margaret Thatcher, Margaret Sanger. Anyways, it was Israelites all the way up in Britain. And it shows you in Acts 29 that Paul went up there. He sailed all the way up there. After he went to Spain, remember he said he wanted to go to Spain? After he went to Spain, he went up and sailed up to Britain. So to tell you, like, that would be really hard, for them to push their Aryan, pure type, bloodline situation like they push now with Britain, when you know that it was Israelites up there, right? For sure. So just to bring that out, that's what's going on right there. Now, we're going to move forward. Revelation 12 and 7. And there was war in heaven. Now, this is actual heaven. You got to understand, y'all. There's heaven right here with the fowls of the air flying the firmament of heaven. And then there's the heaven of heavens. There's a second heaven, the third heaven, right? You go on extra biblical text, there's 7 heavens, right? But just going according to this heaven, this is not the same heaven that's under the firmament. Let me read that real quick. Let me read that right quick. This is Genesis chapter 1 and verse 20. And the Most High said, let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creatures that had life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven. You understand? So this were these signs that we just read and wonders. They were right there as a sign and wonder. Now we in verse 7, it says there was a war in heaven, right? Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. This dragon is who? It's going to tell you who. And verse 8, and prevailed not, neither was their place found anymore in heaven. There was no more place found anymore in heaven for this dragon. And the great dragon was cast down. Remember? We read up in verse what? Verse 3, and there will appear another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon. So now it's telling you who this dragon is. Verse 9, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth. and his angels were cast out with him. So this is telling you this cannot be happening on earth because that's where he got casted out to from heaven. A lot of camps teach that this didn't even happen behind the guise of saying that angels cannot disobey and that angels don't have free will, right? Which is not true. So this is showing you right here that number one, there was a war in heaven, and Michael. Michael is an archangel that dwells up in the heavens. He does not dwell on earth. And the angels, they dwell in heaven. They seek before the Most High, fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. You know what? We can get Ezekiel just to bring out how this went down a little. We can get a little bit. This is Ezekiel 28 and verse 11. Moreover, the word of the Most High came unto me, saying, Son of man, take up a lamentation upon the king of Tyrus, and say unto him, Thus saith the Most High Power, sealest up the sum, full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. He's talking about the adversary right here, right? Thou hast been in Eden, the garden of the Most High. So you know who this is. There's only a couple people that was there. Adam, Eve, and what? The serpent. Every precious stone was thy covering. So his clothing was what? The sardis, topaz, and the diamond, the beryl, the onyx, and the jasper, the sapphire, the emerald, and the carbuncle, and gold. The workmanship of thy tabrets and of thy pipes was prepared to thee in the day that thou wast created. Because he was created what? To lead the singing and worship to the Most High in heaven. Verse 11, thou art the anointed cherub. Cherubs can't be humans. So people think this King of Tyre is talking about the actual King of Tyre. No. This is the influence and the power, the wicked power behind Tyre and what they serve and who they was agenda they feel in the earth. Reading 14, thou art the anointed cherub, which is a what? Top angel that covereth, and I have set thee so. Thou was upon the holy mountain, the set apart mountain of the Most High. Thou hast walked up and down in the midst of the stones of fire. These are the coals that are upon the altar in the temple in heaven. Thou was perfect in thy ways from the day that thou was created till iniquity was found in thee. So this is showing you iniquity is sin. It's showing you that an angel can't sin because we just read right here. Iniquity is found in this angel, right? So going back, they had a war in heaven, verse 9. Verse 8, and prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. Revelation 12 and 9. And the great dragon, this is Satan, which was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole world, he was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. So a third of the angels got cast out with him down to the earth. These aren't demons, all right? These are the angels that slept with the daughters of men and brought forth giants in Revelation 6. Another reason why they discredit this, but they say angels wouldn't do that, right? Oh, you know what? Let me just hit a couple verses on that right quick. I wasn't planning on even addressing it, but yeah, we got to go ahead and address it. This is 2 Peter chapter 2 and verse 4. For if Ahiah spared not the angels that sinned, showing you again, angels sin, right? But cast them down to hell and delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment. The angels are going to get judged. Now we got to go all the way into it. Angels are going to get judged. And I'm going to show you how. Yeshai said they're going to get judged, right? This is Matthew chapter 25, verse 41. Then shall he say unto them on the left hand, Depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. So hell is only prepared for the devil and the wicked angels, but because man starts sinning, you're going to get cast over there with him. That's why the scriptures say that hell haven't enlarged itself, because it wasn't originally for man. It was for the wicked angels, right? Let's get one more in Jude. This is Jude, chapter 1 and verse 6. And the angels which kept not their first estate. What's your estate? Where you live, right? The ones that got kicked out of heaven, they didn't keep their first estate, but left their own habitation he hath reserved in everlasting chains under darkness unto the judgment of the great day. Same thing we just read, right? So, going back to Revelation, chapter 12, and we go to verse 9 now. I mean, verse 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power and the power of his anointed. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down. Who is that? That is the devil, which accuseth them before our power day and night. So when he says accuser of our brethren, mind you, all the angels are fellows, they're brothers. They tell you this in Hebrews chapter 1 and 2. So Satan would come up and accuse the brethren. You might think, well, he got kicked out of heaven. He still had access unto the heavens. That's why he was able to appear before the Most High during the time of Job and, inquire of the Most High if he can tempt Job, into being disobedient. So Satan had access into the heavens until Mashiach came and died and resurrected and defeated death and sin in the flesh. This stopped Satan from being able to ascend up there and accuse the brethren and be able to push forth whatever he did to war against the kingdom of heaven. And now at this point he cannot ascend up there right now. And this is what they're saying right here. This, mind you, it's when we read up here in verse 5. And she brought forth a man child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto Ahiah and to his throne. What happened then? We gotta read it. Now we gotta read that now. When he got caught up to that throne. Going right back to Daniel. This is Daniel. All right. Daniel chapter 7 and 9. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit. That's the Most High Ahiah, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire. A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set, and the books were opened. These is angels all before him in heaven, right? Verse 11, I beheld them because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake. I beheld even till the beast was slain, and his body destroyed and given to the burning flames. So you're going to understand what the end is for Satan, right? Verse 12, as concerning the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and a time. Because it tells you, Obadiah, the Esau, it should not be any left remaining of the house of Esau. The other beasts, they got the other nations, they're going to be preserved what? For captivity. Because it said, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. So there's going to be a time for some to get preserved just for these judgments to be fulfilled. Right? Now, verse 13, this is when Mashiach was caught up to heaven. This is what happened. And I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man, that's a Mashiach, came with the clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days, came to the Most High, and they brought him near before him. And there was given him dominions. Now we got dominion and glory and a kingdom that all people, nations, and languages shall serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. So when he got this dominion, now Satan don't have no more authority to come up to the heaven and be the accuser of what? Of his brethren. Because what? Yeshua is an angel. We went over this in plenty of lessons. He is an angel, and he was an angel that was begotten of the Father. But all the other angels there, Yeshua made them at the words of his Father. So they're all still angels. And this is why you read Hebrews chapter 1 very slowly and 2. It tells you, the Most High says, to which of the angels I said this day, ye are my son, I have begotten thee. Y'all understand? And I'm trying to just give y'all some verbatim ones because, I don't want to, it's a lot of time going by already. So read verse 10 again, Revelation 12 and 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power and the power of his anointed. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night. Verse 11. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives until death. Who are they talking about? These the apostles, right? Verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time. What does the scripture say in Job? Right? When the Most High sent him down there, he sent him down there with a time frame. Right? He sent him down there like, let's get it. This is Job. What is that? Let's see. Where's that verse at? Verse Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Right? So the Most High, when he cast him out, he gave him power, right? He's like, I mean, he gave him power. He said, he gave him authority. So, man, you can run this earth. I'm a perfect power. I command my people to be perfect in the law, right? You don't mess my earth up and put sin in them, and I don't even want that. But I'm going to choose me a people, and I'm going to have me a people, and I'm going to give them set apart laws. I'm going to separate them from all the people on this earth, and they're going to be righteous. They're going to be just. They're going to be perfect unto me. But go ahead, do what you're going to do. Like, you don't messed up my earth. I don't want something that's tainted. I don't want nothing corrupt, right? And y'all got to know this is true, because soon as fallen angels corrupted all the flesh, it said all flesh has corrupted away. Moses said, I'm killing everything. He killed every single beast except the ones that live in the water and ate souls off the whole earth. That tells you, man, he don't want to put up with no sin, no corrupted creatures, no wickedness. He's like, man, kill the whole earth. Just start over. So understand that, right? Moving on. Let's see. So this is Revelation 12:12. I'll read it again. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time. So, his time frame of ruling the earth, right? Because it was given unto him is short. And so this is why even now the time is even shorter. The things are speeding up. The violent things, the plagues, the pestilence, the wars, all these things are speeding up because he don't have a short time. It's a lot of stuff that y'all even know that's going on right now. I could be going into right now, but I'm just stick to the point. Verse 13. And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman, which is Israel, which brought forth the man child. That's the persecution we're under throughout the four corners of the earth, right? Verse 14, and to the woman were given two wings of a great eagle, that she might flee into the wilderness unto her place where she is nourished for a time and times and half a time from the face of the serpent. What is this, you guys? Time, times, and half a time. So that's 3.5 years again. That's what it's telling you again. This is the same thing being said twice in the same chapter. This is not another separate time. This is the same time. Read it again. Verse 14. And to the woman were given two wings of a great eagle, that she might flee into the wilderness, into her place where she is nourished for a time and times and half a time from the face of the serpent. Now, let's get that. I want to get that. Isaiah 17. I want to get that. I think that's what's that. No. It's, Exodus. So I want to get this one, y'all. Brings it home. No. Okay, here we go. Yeah, it is right. Exodus chapter 19 and I started 3. And Moses went up unto the Most High, And the Most High called unto him out of the mountain, saying, Thus shalt thou say to the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel. Verse 4. Ye have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bare you on eagle's wings, and brought you unto myself. So, when we look at the signs and wonders that the Most High performed, bringing our forefathers out of Egypt, and he brought us out there, had us spoiling the Egyptians, borrowing of them gold and silver and substance. This is the explanation and the explaining of what it means to be born up on eagle's wings. It means to be the Most High fighting for us and bringing us out not empty, but bringing us out with much substance, right? So read again. Revelation 12 and 14. And to the woman were given two wings of a great eagle, that she might flee into the wilderness, into her place where she is nourished for a time and times and half a time from the face of the serpent. Let's get another verse, right? On that. Isaiah 28. I'm gonna read. Yeah, 28 2. Isaiah 28 and 2. All right, matter of fact, we'll read after that we read this one. This is Revelation 12 and 15. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. What is the flood, you guys? All right, Isaiah 28 and 2. Behold, the Most High hath a mighty and strong one, which as a tempest of hail and a destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters, overflowing, and shall cast down to the earth with his hand. Now, we already went over what does it mean to be cast down, right? So it's saying the flood. What is these flood and the destroying storm and tempest and hail and mighty waters represent? The judgment of the Most High, or authorities that these are attacks being used as and being described as certain words that represent natural disasters, right? So we read again. I think it's Jeremiah 46. So we can break that down. Jeremiah 46. I am willing. Here we go. Yeah, Jeremiah 46 and 7. Who is this that cometh up as a flood? See that? Whose waters are moved as the rivers. Egypt riseth up like a flood, and his waters are moved like the rivers. And he said, I will go up and cover the earth, and will destroy the city and the inhabitants thereof. You see that? So describing their army as a flood, right? So when we see in this over here, all right, come on. So it says that the Romans, this is still the fourth beast, he sent out the flood out of his mouth. So that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. So we know it's an army, right? Now, this will be first the theological warfare of bringing Catholicism over into a region to, force it on us, and then what? Take us into captivity. So this is what's going on in verse 15, Revelation 12 and 15. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, Israel, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. Now, verse 16. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood, which the dragon cast out of his mouth. Now, let's get that. That's Jeremiah 50 and 46. Let's see what the earth is, right? Jeremiah 50 and 46. In the noise of the taking of Babylon, the earth is moved and the cry is heard among the nations, right? So the earth, right here, is talking about the nations, right? I'm going to address that in a second. It says the earth, it says when it said the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood, which the dragon cast out of her mouth. This will be all the nations where we are scattered, right? The earth is the nations. So being that we're scattered all over the earth, it was as if we got intermingled, right? And the other nations was like I'm gonna say covert. And the reason I can say that is because in this last days, we got prophecies like Isaiah 16 and 4, where the Moabites are prophesied to be a covert unto us from the face of the spoiler. So this is what was happening then. All the other nations, us being mingled all around them, they couldn't walk up and just pinpoint, oh, that's Jake. Let's war with him. That's the Israelite. Let's go war with him, right? So the earth helped us. And said the earth helped the woman. The nations helped us inadvertently because we are around some of them. Now, when we are down there in Africa, we are mingled amongst them. They didn't get all of us and take us all into captivity on slave ships. There's still a whole lot of Jake that's still down in the land of Ham. You got the Ashanti, you got the Igbo, you got the Yoruba, you got you got some I can't even pronounce, right? That are still in the land of Ham right now. But this is to tell you that because we're scattered amongst these nations, it helped us not be all taken all at once, or they could have just if we were that set apart, separate, then they would have when they went to the lands against, then they would have been able to take us into captivity, no problem. Um, Now let's go on to verse 17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which what? Which keep the commandments of the Most High and have the testimony of Yeshua HaMashiach. So this runs all the way up to right now. Lucky y'all. This runs all the way up to right now. All of this war, which concludes with this fourth beast, has been from them the 1300s to them trying to get us into Catholicism, and then all the branches and denominations of Christianity that started. I think the earliest one started in like 1501. I think that was the Baptist. Then you had Pentecostal, you had Seventh-day Adventist, you had uh, Church Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints, you had which are the Mormons, and then you had that's another Christian one. I can't remember this right now. But all those denominations they started like in the 1600s on up when slavery started. So this was the part of the flood of the Catholic Church to get us to forget who we were and to walk according to the ways of the heathen, that they can continue to rule over us per se according to the curses and the covenant. The covenant tell you we gonna serve. In fact, let's read it. Let's read it, and then we'll be done with this. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 64. Number 28, 64. What does it say? And the Most High shall scatter thee among the people from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other powers, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. Wood being the cross that's pushed by the Catholic Church. Hamashiach was hung from a tree, right? That cross, that T represents Tammuz, right? We don't believe in none of that, but inadvertently, that's what the Christian Church follow when they push keeping Christmas, right, which is Tammuz's birthday, and dealing with Easter, which is Tammuz's wife. If you know the history about all of that, he married his mother, right? And all the pagan holidays, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day, all that has to do with ancient Babylon, right? So that's basically the bring down on that. The confusion that would be, if anyone could, hopefully you're not confused, is that the wilderness that is prophesied in Hosea 2 and 14 and Ezekiel 20 is not the same wilderness right here, because we'll just read it and show why. We'll show why. Most High never gave, there's no Mount Sinai down on the western coast of West Africa. That's not, Mount Sinai is not over there. And so the prophecies are congruent with where our forefathers at when they came out of Egypt the first time. This is Hosea 2 and 14. Therefore, behold, I will allure her is Israel, we established that, and bring her into the wilderness and speak comfortably unto her. We want to get that. Let me see. had a verse for that too. Let me see. Isaiah 40 and 2. Let's look at that. Let's look at that. I think that's the verse. He said he's going to speak comfortably unto her. What does that mean? Isaiah 40. Isaiah 40 and 2. I started 1. Comfort ye, comfort ye. Comfort ye, comfort ye, my people, saith your power. Verse 2. Speak ye comfortably to Jerusalem, and cry unto her that her warfare is accomplished, that her iniquity is pardoned, for she had received of the Most High's hand double for all her sins. So, this is what's going to be said to us in the wilderness, right? Because it's going to be last captivity, right? We're in the last captivity right now. Going back to Hosea. 2 and 14. Therefore, behold, I will allure her and bring her into the wilderness and speak comfortably unto her. And I will give her her vineyards from thence, and the valley of Achor for a door of hope, and she shall sing there in the days of her youth, as in the day when she came up out of the land of Egypt. So this all pertains to how when we was in Egypt, it's going to be synonymous, right? Let's read the other one, and Ezekiel. All right, Ezekiel 20. They're not the same wilderness. This is Kadesh Barnea we're reading about. Ezekiel 20, 34. And I will bring you out from the people where you got scattered, and will gather you out of the countries wherein ye are scattered with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out, or with signs and wonders, as the scripture describes that, right? And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face. How do we know which wilderness this is? It's the one that he pleaded with us face to face with, right? Like I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so will I plead with you, saith the Most High. Let's get that one. When the Most High pleaded with us face to face, right? Showing that this wilderness can't be no western coast Africa, right? And there's people down there. There's people down there that I believe that, and it's not funny. It's just I've been trying to interact with them and explain to them, and I'm not getting any. I'm not having success with that, but I just keep praying for them. This is Deuteronomy chapter 5 and verse. I'll start 2. Ahiah, our power, made a covenant with us in Horeb, Mount Sinai, right? Verse 3. And the Most High made not this covenant with our fathers, but with us, even us who are all of us here alive this day. Verse 4. And the Most High talked with you face to face in the mount. Which mount we just said we in? Horeb. In the mount, out of the midst of the fire. So there is no Mount Horeb, Mount Sinai, nowhere in the land of Ham. All right? Nowhere in the land of Ham. Mount Sinai and Mount Horeb is in the wilderness, Kadesh Barnea, according to scripture. And that is the wilderness that pertains to the prophecies I just read, Hosea and Ezekiel. The wilderness in Revelation 12 can't be the same. That's why going into the secular history, which is outside of the Bible, that our forefathers went over into West Africa and all down in the southern sub-Saharan Africa. That's where our forefathers were. So I pray y'all got some understanding on that, and understand that's already passed. Like, I never really did a lesson on that because I'm like, that already passed. That's we ain't gotta, not like don't worry about it, but it's already in the past. And we'll see here, got a couple things that are down here. It says Gustavo Marazino, Salam, big bro, shalom, soldier. And we got Jonathan Spence J. Shalom, brother. Then we got Social Corporation. I'm so happy, brother. Rapture is happening this year. Okay. This is why I was saying I got to do the lesson on the rapture because, oh man. So it's a minute, it's an hour and 5. Ahiah willing, I'll try to do it tomorrow, y'all. If anything, if it don't happen tomorrow, it's probably gonna give y'all time to watch this video right here. But the rapture is not coming soon. It's a lot of things that got to happen way before the rapture jumps off, you guys. I keep telling y'all this, but now I'm going to go ahead and do a lesson to bring it out. That is a lot that has to happen before that. So and this is why I say the prayers, for Yasharala to be edified, get understanding. It's the camps out here that have taught everyone, yo, don't worry. The church's gonna come get you from Babylon. There's nobody getting picked up from Babylon that's alive from any chariots from the Most High in heaven. That's not scripture. Not scriptural. It says that the dead in the Mashiach shall rise first, and those that are alive and remain will be caught up to meet him in the air. But this can't happen. After I've taught on this page a few times, social corporations, look on the page for Revelation 17 and the beast, and new I think Feast of Trumpets lesson, um second Esdras, and the eagle. Watch them two videos right there, and it's going to explain to you how Hamashiach's not coming. He's not coming for a good while still, at least 3.5 years, at least. All right, but I'm going to do the rapture video next, most high willing, or I'll probably end up doing just a RTBT, let you know what's going on the earth. Whole lot of action, whole lot of rioting, whole lot of revenue, whole lot of uprising of the people, war, rumors of wars, all that stuff. And they've been getting noisy over here. So again, we all good, we blessed, we Qurash. And I pray that y'all being strong and enduring, hoping, seeking to keep the most highs, law, statutes, and commandments, faith in my Shai, walking the fruits of the Spirit, love your neighbor, help your neighbor, gather, right? Don't be fearful, man, to gather right now. Love, the scripture says, man, love is without fear, right? Love your neighbor, man, and, prepare. And any questions, just like somebody put the comments, man, put the questions in the chat, and I can know what I need to touch on or whatever with you guys, and I can get back with you, on a cute topic that is, that is someone wants to know about, right? Sabbath's already over here. I start this after sundown. That's why I was yawning a little bit. I don't really stay up late. I just shut it down when the sunlight goes down. But appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for your prayers. Thank y'all for your blessings. Pray y'all strong. Pray y'all enduring. And make sure you're not neglecting no time for the Most High. Stay close to Him. Stay giving Him His quiet time and meditation and prayer. Keep on afflicting your soul. Y'all, we got to do this until the end. Y'all hear me? Most I want to get back with y'all real soon. All right. All praise, always to the most merciful, highest, or higher by Hashem Yeshai. Kwam Yashala. All day long, Kwam Yashala. Y'all be strong. Salam.